morning, afternoon, whatever it may be for you, as there we get the match going. On ECL Division 4 today, we have STDB as the Axis versus LCM on the Allies, casting from the Allied side. And if we take a little look at the map here, we see a left side two-way diagonal fighting over the dugout. Gonna be an interesting match. This is kind of a replay of the other Division 4 match between the same two sides, also fighting over the dugout, which went to LCM 4-1. Will the German boys of STDB, I actually don't know if they're German, will STDB be able to run it back and claim victory in this match? We will know in around 90 minutes. As everything is getting ready to go. We see all these lovely trucks lining up. All so excited to get going. Little truck over there. And then under me here we see everyone lined up and ready to go. As this is my first real competitive match cast, and I'm very excited to get into all of the action. And let's hope the players are also excited. Interestingly, we see a recon tank all the way on the right side and a recon tank all the way on the left side, who are going to be looking for those early chaos moments as we are getting ready to go. Let's take a quick look at the tanks on the other side. Light tank on the left, medium, another light tank, and then a recon tank, and just a transport truck with fizzle. As we are good to go and moving in, we will stay over these trucks. Snipes going in. For now, all the trucks are surviving as we are approaching the dugout. Not a lot of cover on this point, only a few buildings where the infantry can shelter. Gonna be going ham with the artillery on those buildings, taking away the last bit of cover. Gardens here on my left, as we see the truck with the blueberries roaming in. Another truck on the right side as well. So many rockets flying. One rocket misses. The other one misses as well. Barely not able to nail that truck. More rockets flying to the other side as well. All trucks seem to survive, but crucially, a truck with blueberries makes it to the point first, and they will be getting some early positioning done and getting that little bit of advantage that they might need. Stewie as well on the point. Supplies being dropped early on. Other truck, Axis truck, driving all the way into the point. Missed by a truck by a hair. And now we get some raspberries who are also on the point. Crucially, light tank in behind as well. Gonna fight this Stewie. And it's gonna be a really chaotic kickoff as the Stewie takes a hit already. Fee trying to line up another one. Does not get there. Light tank gives away its position, and these ATs are looking to hunt this light tank and protect their Stewie. One of them gets taken out. Can the other one do something? As we hear another Lux going absolute ham. But on the point now we see a lot more raspberries on this hill on the left than we see blueberries, and the Stewie is just taking up a defensive position to try and stay alive and maybe take out the Lux. Recon tank we see in the background as well, roaming those back lines. But lots of red on the point here, and the allies are fighting back with the soft cap weight, but currently on the hard cap it is a bit of a sea of red. Let's just give a little bit of love to Tetra here, who is kind of all alone in a sea of red here, trying to wipe maybe some early OPs or anything like that. But this Lux and this Stewie are just taking it so carefully, trying not to get blown up first, and just really gonna sit here and trying to hold it down. As we take a look, is it 2 3-man crews that we see here in the tanks? Yes, it is. So 2 full tank crews just playing it patiently and sitting in behind, as we see a tank shell flying from the background, and that is the P4 lining up on this hill, trying to control more territory and spray down that road all the way from back here. cap pressure on the point is still undecided for now. Now we see more and more blueberries going towards the point, and only a few raspberries surviving the initial attack. But cap weight is frozen in the middle with no color on the bars in the top of the screen. And still both tanks survive as purple haze from the Axis blows up that Stewie. And now this looks has a little bit more breathing room to go move around maybe and cause more havoc on this point. Crucially, taking out that Stewie on the point from the AT players. And now we see some cap pressure going towards the Axis. This looks still just immobile in the point. Not that they cannot move, but they just choose to hold position here. And if we take a look at the map, we see still quite a lot of OPs up, but crucially, these two Axis OPs can bring in that cap weight towards this point. Medium tank still sniping as well. Lux takes one frontal hit, immediately gets avenged, but Lux now in a little bit of a worse spot because now if they get hit again, they might go down, and they are backing up to take a little bit more of a covered position where they only have to watch that road forwards, and Black Mars jumps out to try and get some repairs going on that turret, I think that is. More explosions going down on the point, as my PC says, this is too many explosions for me, help. But we see Ballin, Sir Ballin, Senior Ballin misses that rocket shot crucially, and the Lux survives. Ballin lines up another shot, misses again barely, trying not to hit that little, as we see actually a huge explosion, as trying not to hit these tank traps, meaning that they missed the Lux twice in a row. Unfortunate for the AT and for the blueberries, but really fortunate for this Lux. More cap pressure going towards the Axis as we see them lining up on this hill, just really controlling it. Castillon gets dropped by Goof, and the tank is now down to 2 crew members and damaged badly, so they might need to retreat here and go for repairs or stay in this point and keep their cap pressure inside of that hard cap circle, really trying to hold it down for their buddies. And we see now almost 90% cap pressure for the first cap on dugout for STDB. And I think they might do it here early on. Now the question is, of course, can they hold it? El Gordo, reading is a difficult skill, pushing up further, going to try and wipe some OPs in behind here. Parko trying to stop him from doing that as we see a first cap go towards STDB. And they will try to hold on to this point now and move their way up north towards the next point of Brecord Battery. As El Gordo is still trying to... This was a unique sight, as we have an engineer planting a satchel, but he was basically just standing under El Gordo there, trying to plant that satchel, as we see another satchel, and both Sir Senior Balin and that other engineer are saying, let's go out with a bang, and leaving a little gift on this point for the raspberries, just putting down those long satchels to try and persuade them to, or try to lure them really into a trap. Lux pushing up further, trying to cause more damage, maybe switching to that heavy tank as we just hit the 10-minute mark with only 1 cap so far in favor of the Axis, as Xavimon blows up that Lux, and that crew will probably be trading that for a Tiger tank very soon. As we will take a look at a little bit of different fighting here in the middle of the map. Over 5-way, we have a medium tank with some infantry trying to hold down this and open up a flanking opportunity towards those defenders of the dugout. Really trying to line up those shots with the medium tank and stay covered so that they don't die. But another rocket flies in and they're getting more and more damage, and they're feeling the pressure a little bit and have to retreat out. Back to dugout though, we have a lot more blueberries pushing towards the hard cap and a lot more raspberries spawning on defense to stop that push. But this fight over dugout is in no way decided yet, as the commander, John Smith, gets dropped there. But a lot of Raspberries coming back to defend here on the dugout, trying to hold this point down. And, of course, it's a sight we see in comp all the time, but rockets flying absolutely everywhere. Like these guys have 70 bullets instead of just 3. Bombing gun goes down, trying to wipe out any blueberries that were attacking. What a shot this is. And deals a devastating amount of damage, but not really getting as many kills as they might hope, as the point is still contested, but now being defended again. But still, we see some pressure being put on, both by Tipo on the point, and if we go look up here, we see Plin and his squad are up here trying to cause damage as much as possible, as I think that was a tank shot flying into another tank. Let's see. No, it was a truck that was flying into. But Plin trying to wipe some OPs on the defense here. And reloading his little gun. Trying to take out another one. And he's really trying to lock down this side of the map so that they can push from a new angle towards dugout. Plin pushing up further. Trying to get him behind, and then gets taken out by this engineer in the hopper. Let's just watch this ingenuity again. Building this little barricade to then jump up to this little wooden pole into the hopper to get a new vision of the map that most players do not think about to check immediately when they're pushing. On the dugout, we see a lot of blueberries pushing once again. Lots of raspberries still defending, but a little bit of cap pressure going once again. It is not locked down to either side at the moment, and we don't see a full advance towards the next point yet. It is still all to fight for on dugout, as the commander is taking the lead in this charge. Tetra and Sile in behind. John Smith trying to push up further, trying to get his little establishment into this little bunker. Of course, cannot put down one of those handy dandy OPs as the commander, but is still leading his boys in the charge as they push on to those buildings over there. But currently, the hard cap seems kind of clear, and if we look on the map, there is currently no real gaps in the line. Aside from over here, we see a brave engineer hitter trying to push onto these buildings and plants a 30-second satchel. And this satchel, ladies and gentlemen, might be detrimental to their push, as I thought there was a garrison here, but the garrison just got taken out by Tsile. So Axis currently in a bit of a situation with no close garrison to the point. If I see my map correctly, I don't see it anywhere. Supplies being dropped again, but no garrison on the point, and that satchel takes out another raspberry, and this might be go time for the allies to start pushing towards this point after 15 minutes in the match. As we see here, another recon tank roaming the back lines, really trying to cause that damage in behind. As we see, the blueberries seem to have claimed 5-way and will now probably be trying to push up further and further, as the recon tank is now being cornered by an AT. Marusha gets one rocket hit in, but will have to pay for that with his life. Recon tank gonna try to Recon tank gonna try to retreat a little bit, getting away from some of these OPs. Morpheo jumps out actually to go repair. Kaufi might shoot him in the back here. Kaufi takes out one, and now it's Eloy, who is all alone in that recon tank. Plowski shoots one rocket into the back, and will he be able to shoot that final rocket, taking out the recon tank? Recon tank barely escapes another rocket shot, and is really trying to get out of there as quickly as possible, as Kaufi clears out 5-way once again and is going to try to establish a new position here to hold this side of the map down. And if we look actually on the map, we see LCM pushing up really far and covering a lot of the space in the east of the map. really getting up far if we take a look on these flanking squads. And they are really already lining up an attack towards Hamlet, even though they have not captured Dugout yet. Because if we take a look at the map, they are all going and collapsing down onto this point in a matter of time, really, after they've capped the Dugout. They have full faith in their buddies up on the point to go cap that, and they will try to hold it down over here, as we see Romax hit a beautiful headshot to kill another Raspberry. More long shot tank shots firing as we see the first Tiger of the match that we have seen so far, with another P4 lining up as well, crossing the field. This Tiger will just play it very patiently. We will take a quick look at the map about where the 76 is. 76, is that the 76? That is the 76. Parked up by Brecord Battery on the defense, not looking to engage yet. Maybe waiting for a little bit more support on the tanks to maybe go for a 1-2 knockout on this Tiger. This Tiger also really just testing the waters, feeling out how this match is going to go. But we see a tank engagement here. The medium over there, as we can only see its tracks for some reason. I will try to quickly... Oh, well, a little head loose bug for you. The medium's exchanging a shot. Commander marking that medium as well. But we see the allied medium taking some cover, and the P4 will push up further, maybe trying to murder some infantry along the way to help their boys defend. Because if we look at the point, we see a lot of blue on the hard cap here, trying to push up towards this hill to get that terrain advantage. As in the background there, that was a beautiful rocket shot on the spinning recon tank, and another rocket shot, big rocket shot from that Tiger takes out the recon tank, and the Tiger says, enough testing the waters, let's go for a swim, and dives into the deep here, going to help their P4 battle that medium and try to get the game really going for the tanks here. Fully fourth gearing it through this field and trying to get an angle on anything that moves. We see the medium tank there trying to peek. Will the Tiger see them in time? Tiger barely doesn't have a shot, maybe. Very hard to see if you don't have the highlights, of course. As we see a bombing run going over another tank up there as well. And the allies are really trying to push onto this point. But these tanks are just parked next to each other beautifully here. And going to engage towards this medium. Medium tank backing up. Takes one hit from the Tiger that might have been turret. I'm not exactly sure. But they are getting some help if we go look back here. Let's appreciate the hard work of some of these infantry players, as I think they were trying to get a repair station set up, as there was an engineer and a support player here. But both get dropped, unfortunately, and this medium will have to find some refuge all the way back here on this repair station. On the point, we see the Blueberries slowly trying to make an advance. Lots of smoke being called in to help the infantry stay alive on the point. Zyle, who took out the garrison earlier, really trying to push back up, and a new garrison has been established in the same spot. As we see actually up here, rare medic for the comp scene. Bino trying to push up next to Devil, but gets dropped, unfortunately. Does manage to wipe the OP from Plin there, and setting them back a little bit once again. As we see a P4 up there as well, trying to really hold down that side for their buddies. And more tank shots are flying. Take a look at them. A heavy tank has not moved, has gained a crew member, but we see a medium here as well with not one but two repair stations already. And the Axis are really able to control this point for now, but no advance has been made towards Brecord Battery yet. After around 20 minutes in the match, we can see that there is no one even close to the soft cap of Brecord Battery yet. And now it's the question of, will we see something like an airhead or a sneaky garrison or half-track trying to be parked around. But if you look at the allied line here, we have a beautiful little line of outposts strung together to alert them if anyone or anything tries to sneak past to get into the back lines. More and more tank shots are flying. We see 3 allied tanks in the background there. Now we see a Stewie here with, I think, still a P4 up on the side there, as the P4 is actually pushing quite hard, trying to get a flank on those tanks maybe. Not being too stealthy about it, but they are making ground, and this P4 is really sending it down the side here. Hitter does spawn in behind it, and might be able to get some rockets into this. 1 rocket goes in, P4 spins around, gonna line up a shot, shoots but misses. Hitter might have another rocket here. Gets an unlucky bounce there on the medium tank, and the medium tank will retreat and survive. 3rd rocket might fly in here. 3rd rocket does connect, but unfortunately that 2nd rocket just was not good enough to get this medium tank going. Though they are going for repairs in this aggressive spot. Soy Louise jumps out and takes out one of the crew members, and now this might give time for hitters to come back and get those 3 rockets back and put the bazooka to good use and take out this medium tank, as Soy Louise is just camping this little medium. And I think we will see hitters spawn back in just a second here, immediately redeploying after using all 3 of his rockets, and gonna try to take out this P4 as soon as possible, as we still have that outpost. And there he is. Hitter gonna try to come back and finish what he started. The tanks are trying to help him out as well, but Hitter gets the 3rd shot that he was looking for and takes out the medium tank on the west side of the map. Really well played. And that is 1 threat no longer on the map, as we see now immediately the allies capitalizing on this and trying to put some cap pressure on the point, and successfully doing so. Only a little bit for now, but this might call back a few more raspberries towards the point, as we see a blueberry get absolutely annihilated by Ludiga there. But even losing a little bit might call back those guys from the sidelines here, which will then allow you to really push on a little bit further, as we see some backup garrisons being hunted already, and the allies continue to wrap around the side further, but they cannot continue their cap pressure on the dugout for now. Let's take up another look if we can find our little tiger, and we see actually a bombing run airhead play with the reinforced down on the dugout. So that is how the Axis decide to hold for now. Reinforced down. Here comes the airhead bombing run play that they might have been looking for. Or is this a defensive bombing run coming out here? I'm not exactly sure. Might function as one a little bit. I think this is a defensive bombing run trying to come out and help them defend the point. But I would be astounded if this is also a defensive airhead. I would assume, with all the smoke that we see going down, that this is an attacking opportunity trying to be seized by John Smith, trying to get this airhead up and going. Let's take a look if it works out. Airhead landing in around 5 seconds in really what is the middle of the point. Fake blood moving forward, nades being thrown at it. It lands in this little barn. Really nice covered spot, but fake blood shuts it down before anything can happen, and the allied airhead gets taken out before it can cause any damage whatsoever. As we will take a look at these guys trying to push up the side of the map, just relentlessly trying to push across these few hedgerows, a little bit of cover used to fullest extent, as Lord takes out another 2 and is gonna now move up 1 hedgerow and get a whole new field to control. OP actually. Hitter and Jome and Plin, their OP gets wiped by Gino. Hitter, the only ones left standing for now. Lord goes around the hedgerow, peeks, but Hitter gets taken out by Gino already, and the Axis move up another hedgerow. And it is really a game of meters here, just like in real wars we see with trench fighting, where a few meters could be fought over for hours, days, or weeks, we see here that every single one of these hedgerows is being fought for, and every little bit of ground means that you can defend that much better against the oncoming attack, or that you can attack so much better against the defenders. Lord and Gino really trying to push it up here, looking for those OPs and this back garrison to move towards Recore Battery. Lord gets taken out. Gino still alive in one of these buildings and gonna take a little bit of cover to try and surprise someone. If we take a look at the tanks here, we see the Tiger menacingly holding or trying to hold down 5-way, but really not being able to at the moment, and needing a little bit of retreating action going on because there are a lot of blueberries pushing towards this 5-way, and they do not have the infantry support that they may require. As now we see Rally also pushing up on the east there. If we do a little bit of a map checkup, we see that Trinchap has Trinchapinos, sorry, reading is really not a skill that I possess apparently, has successfully infiltrated into the back lines and is now going to try and maybe wrap around all the way into the back lines. And we see really a curved line going on. Not a lot of infantry presence right here on the front door, but a lot of presence here on the mid cap, almost as if we would be fighting over there. This Tiger got hit in the middle of my explanation by, I think, that recon tank up there all the way, maybe. And this Tiger is really trying to help these infantry raspberries to push towards all the blueberries holding down AA network, the mid cap of this map, not of this match. Recon plane going up again, and this recon tank still trying to roam around and just pick off some unsuspecting blueberries. This medium tank, though, has said, enough sitting around, let's get into some action, let's get our hands dirty, and they will be trying to push. Of course, there on the left, we have both a medium tank and a heavy tank who will immediately start moving towards this tank as soon as they hear word of it. But the crew of Juan and Ariete are really trying to make a push forward and make something happen for their infantry, maybe spraying some smoke on the point as well, to just give those men every little bit of cover that they can. And they decide to put the tank forward and start hammering that point with HE. Now it's the question, will the Axis tanks hear this on the radio, or hear this by the tank shells flying, and see that there is a little bit of medium tank pushing down that road, and engage into a little bit of tank fighting, as the medium is really beelining it down the road now. Gonna try to move forward and give a little bit of hope to the blueberries that they can cap this point rather soon and go home. Medium tank really rolling in there, gonna try to move through all the explosions and wipe all that in behind. We see another Tiger. This could be an unwelcome surprise for this medium. If they keep going down this road, they will suddenly face a really angry Tiger, and they might not have the firepower to come back from that. Quick and bold, taking cover. The Tiger has not yet turned towards this medium, but I don't suspect it will be long. And this medium moving back the way they came, gonna just do some laps around the point here and trying to create a break for the infantry to push in. Fee gonna try and take out this medium tank. Gets one rocket into the side. Gun moving towards him. B trying to get a second hit. Just gonna do a little bit more running. And gets a second successful hit, but the medium tank caused the damage that it wanted to cause, and we immediately see the effect that it has had on the cap pressure. Suddenly, we see a little bit of cap pressure going towards the Axis towards the Allies, sorry, once again. And now we see actually that the P4 or the Tiger, sorry, is trying to get going in this little battle and gonna line up a shot on that P4, trying to help out on the defense. And this P4 has switched spots and they are now holding down 5-way. Another 76 though is now coming in on the right side of your screen and gonna try to surprise this Tiger maybe, as more and more cap pressure is going towards the mid cap. And the allies are really looking good here. First shot goes into the Tiger from that 76 of their Tiger, reversing into them. Currently unaware where the threat is, and the heavy tank takes out the Tiger, and this could really help them on their cap towards the midpoint, as we see that medium is still basically just parked on the point, parked in a little bit of a funny way, but still putting that extra bit of pressure that they might need onto this point. And we are approaching 75% cap pressure, and the allies are really trying to take the point here from the Axis. But look at what a spawn wave from the Raspberries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys spawning in to help with the defense. Can it be enough? Currently, it is not, just because of the control over the hard cap that they have. Is the Reinforce coming out already? Reinforce is active, and once these Raspberries get into the point, they can start defending. But it is a really close one, and once this Reinforce, which is expiring in another 30 seconds, is up, it might be trouble for the Axis if they cannot wipe out enough blueberries by that time. Gino gonna try and satchel maybe this medium tank, or just try and satchel anything that he can get his hands on. Gino trying to sit in behind here, play it a bit patiently. Again, this medium tank does not have a spotter, is fully relying on the infantry behind to not get satcheled. Gino says, I will maybe see this as an opportunity, use the medium tank for a little bit of cover, and might actually not. Is that an STG in your hands? I don't know if that is. I think it was a G43 actually. So the medium tank might be a little bit lucky not getting satcheled there, but more cap pressure going towards the allies, as now they're defending once again. But this heavy tank up here is now also taking a little bit of a beating from the ATs all around. Stewie in front of them there, but Spotter, I think, is outside of the tank, so they will not see it. Stewie takes a rocket hit, but Yaumatik is trying to get another rocket hit in and takes out another Tiger. Second Tiger to fall to this match, and the Stewie and the medium tank are still alive on the point, as that was almost a beautiful rocket hit to take out the Stewie. But now tank domination for LCM here on the point, and again they can defend barely. But now we see in behind here Devil getting up on the garrison, gonna try and take it out, gets blasted by artillery last second. Will have spotted the garrison, and now we see maybe the Stewie gets to take it out, take out another spawn wave, as there a big explosion. Stewie gets in near the garrison, but it doesn't even matter, as the point will go towards LCM. After 30 minutes of actual playing time, we see a reverse cap for the allies, and now this curved line that they've had going towards Hamlet will suddenly pay off so much, as they can now really push in behind. And we see Trinchampinos, as I butcher his name completely once again, is now in active territory and might be able to get an OP down or something to get a squad infiltrating behind the Hamlet as soon as possible. Gino's next to this medium once again, and this medium is now down to one man, and gonna try to survive is, I think, the #1 mission at the moment. As Ares, is that another satchel you're planting there, buddy? I saw some sparks, I think, as the medium actually was already satcheled, and medium goes kablam. But they can still hold the point down for now, as we see a beautiful dive from Xavi there, really trying to take a long jumping to the next level. And we see control from the Axis being established. Ludiga now all alone on the point, takes out one though. Hermanito in behind, gonna try to avenge his little buddy. But the allies with a really convincing cap on dugout. Hermanito takes out Ludiga and wipes out the last potential threat on the hard cap. And now suddenly it is defense time for the Axis, but they do also have a squad leader in behind who's going to try to sabotage those backlines, as we see the commander trying to move up his garrison network by dismantling some of the backup garrisons. And we see, for example, an early garrison being established right here on the side. Goof gonna maybe hear that and report that back to his buddies. Hitter trying to take him out, and Hitter and Ballin work together to take them out and make sure to blast the hedge a little bit as well. But garrisons being established, flare going out, and it is a convincing cap from the allies on dugout after round about 30-35 minutes in this ECL match. As we will take a look at this heavy tank, who are pushing quite far up towards Hamlet and really gonna try to line up some shots on the infantry, because if we look the direction it's looking, there's quite a lot of infantry to shoot back there. So they are trying to cause as much damage. Driver angled one way, Gunner angled another to get maximum MG coverage and really trying to help the buddies push. Gonna drive down a little bit further to get a little bit more vision. But look at the amount of raspberries that are up here trying to defend against the oncoming push. But if we go to the hard cap, actually, we see that this squad in behind is pushing onto the hard cap already. And Trinit Champinos is suddenly on Hamlet already. Xavi on here as well. Nike gonna try to hold it down here, but they are immediately putting the pressure on STDB to defend. STDB, I said it correctly. To defend behind here, because we see over here we have an OP in the back lines. Rally trying to take it out, does take out the MG. The MG, no, the AT and the OP. Outpost goes down, and that might be a major crisis averted, because the squad leader on Hamlet also gets wiped, so this sets them back significantly, and we see an infiltration OP behind as well. So now it is really going to be a case of who can infiltrate better and wipe those spawns from behind to then really get up there, as we see two more tanks ready to go join the battle. What a beautiful sight it is always to see these tank crews coordinate and work together. But the Axis are really not ready to give up on dugout as a point yet, and they're continuing to put on the pressure. As I will give you guys this shot for a little bit and go grab my water bottle before I lose my voice before the match ends. Make sure to also hydrate a little bit if you are watching this broadcast. And after 40 minutes, we have seen plenty of action, dugout trading hands, and now starting to fall again to the Axis. Tank marks going in behind. Recon tank here, actually. Let's see if we can get a look of this. Recon tank going in for this garrison behind. Does manage to wipe out the garrison. Medium tank is behind there and gonna try to take out this recon before they can cause more damage. But this recon wiping that garrison is gonna set back those Axis defenders that little bit that they might need to start pushing and calling back some of these attacking squads, which will, of course, change the flow of the game. As I will just admire some more engineering works here. Belgian gate next to the building, next to the water tank, makes for a prime MG position as Klee lines himself up here and is going to cause monumental amounts of damage with that MG42. Really trying to line it up as the recon tank falls to the Luchs rather quickly. And the Axis have managed to take control of this side. Maybe I was speaking a little bit too soon, but they have seen Lord and Trunkenbold have taken control once again, wipe out that garrison, which has been moved back, but Lord is now almost upon it once again. Lord planting that satchel, and satchel goes down on the floor. Lord now pushing, gets taken out, so that satchel was a really good heads-up play, as we see another tank fall. Let's see what that was. That was was that the medium tank? Oh, it was the medium tank. Sorry, I thought that was a P4 getting a kill, but it was the P4 getting killed by that heavy tank. But we have this satchel that will take out Soy Louise and the garrison in just a second here. I think I still see the sparks. So we will see that garrison and Soy Louise go absolute kablam. And the Axis are really making a convincing push for dugout here. One garrison remains inside of the soft cap, and it's a good one. But they are really trying to take control of this side of the map again. But this heavy tank will now try to have a say in that as Gino wipes another OP. And we see Lord and Gino back on those beautiful hedgerows, trying to take control of the west side of the map. Hitter, Devil, and Plin spawn in to go fight over those little hedgerows once again. The heavy tank moves through those tank straps like a ballerina moves through the ballroom, and really is gonna try and push up towards his infantry. Gino there is ready to absolutely... I was gonna say something that could be interpreted really wrongly, so I'm not gonna finish that sentence. But Gino's ready to line up some rocket shots towards the 76, and if they turn even a little bit into the wrong way, they might be showing a lot of ass to Gino, who might be able to take advantage with his rocket launcher. Zhao Medic is pushing up another hedgerow. Gino still crouched behind that hedgerow, gonna try to take cover as his 76 is hearing another Luchs firing, but in the background there I saw a familiar looking parachute with a box in below, and we see an aggressive airhead bombing run play from the commander trying to cover his tracks with that bombing run. But I think these squad leaders are ready. Nike standing there ready to line up the nade shot. Bombing run comes in with the airhead almost landing down. And we will see touchdown in the middle of an explosion. Nike gets wiped out, crucially. Touchdown, but the airhead gets destroyed before it can cause any damage once again. Nike gets that nade off just before he goes absolute splat. But the defenders of Hamlet will have a little bit of relief. A sigh of relief, you could say, that that airhead could not cause any damage. As back on the point, we see this Luchs still absolutely hammering it. And this 76 gets a little friend, a little Stewie friend in behind, as Gino is still next to the 76. 76 does get satcheled by Gino and goes kablam. And the 76 really will not be happy that they stood on that hedgerows for so long, not being able to spot Gino, as now the Stewart will go in behind to try and get one of those garrisons. Already following wherever I go, and the Stewie will be going outside of bounds here to get around this hedgerow, and then we'll see the supplies and this garrison that is parked right here. Oh, Gino spawns in. Gino survives actually, but then gets MG'd, and the garrison gets taken out. Eloy and his crew take out another backup garrison and the supplies. But currently no real push towards Hamlet. It is a push towards dugout we are watching, with a little bit of that infantry coming in, as we see the Luchs taking a shot actually from I'm not quite sure. Let's say it was a random AT who got dropped immediately after, and not that I'm blind. After we have just hit the halfway point, and we still see more fighting going on over the dugout. This match is really centered around the mid cap, and we are all here for it. Ludiga crawling his way forward. Irregular trying to trade some shots. None of them connect yet. More smoke might be needed for this push. But in behind here, actually, as we will leave that road fight for what it is, we saw Flowski finding that garrison. Gets taken out on it, but again, crucial info for a potential bombing run to be lined up, making sure they get that garrison wiped. And that could really turn the tides if you get a nice little bombing run over this confirmed garrison location. It really can help you as a commander to help your team push wiping one of the major spawn points. Or another option is send in your mobile bombing run. Deluxe trying to push up, but a lot of ATs where it's going. And Serenito says, no thank you, I am not interested in losing my garrison. So I will stop you right there, and takes out Deluxe with a well-placed rocket shot. As we take another look at the map, and we actually see an attacking garrison lined up on the side here, currently clear to spawn. And those two attacking OPs right here are proving effective to infiltrate in behind. Another OP wraps in behind, and the Gardens garrison gets lit up and is being dismantled as we speak. As I do another beautiful turn, I apologize to anyone with eyeballs. And we see a strafe, I think, being dodged by Garbuk, and he is taking out this garrison to try and get a push going towards dugout for his buddies. RD strikes are placed, though, to try and stop the Axis from advancing, but they are getting closer and closer towards a successful infiltration behind the dugout. But we do have to appreciate the tanks coming in behind, two 76s ready to defend, and a medium tank as well, and we probably still have a random tank roaming the backline somewhere. I would not be surprised. But Gardens Gary, crucially, Garbuk gets the dismantle down, and this will be a little bit of a thorn in the backside for the allies, as it is Castillo's responsibility to defend here, but Garbuk lines up a really nice shot to take him out early. Will their OP survive the push from Rabogor? Oh my god, I need to do some reading exercises after this match, I think. Rabogor trying to wipe that OP. Philly Bill. Philly Bill? Too many L's. Trying to sit in behind, protect that OP until reinforcements arrive. Gets dropped, unfortunately. Rabogor. 3 more for Rabogor to take out to stop the backwards infiltration. Rabogor versus Kiwi, Schnee, and Marusha. Taking cover behind that repair station. Really trying to give himself any advantage he can. Going for it. Trying to push up. Marusha gets dropped. Billy Bill is back as well. And Flowski takes out Rabogor and protects the OP in behind. As we hear more tank shells flying. As I got a little creative with the turns there. And we see a medium tank going in behind to cause as much chaos and damage as it can. Takes a hit from an AT though. Immediately claps back, but still going to feel that a little bit, I think, in the front. Actually that was front plate, and they are completely fine. I apologize. Schnee in this corner, trying to stay alive and hold it down. But we will follow this charge from the medium tank, going to try to wipe this entire road clean of outposts, garrisons, and any infantry you can find. Now, the only problem is they have Fee right here, who will line up some shots, and then to the right side there we have a Tiger tank, who will also try to stop them on their charge. Second rocket goes in, and they get stuck on that tank corpse for only a little bit. The Tiger misses a shot, but I don't think they will miss again. Medium spins around. Second Tiger shot coming in just a second here, I think. And we might see the Sherman go absolute bababadooey. And there it goes down to that Tiger in behind. and the charge from the medium tank gets stopped here, but they do clear up a lot of space for the allies to push back into and defend the dugout. We still see Schnee alive here on Schnee's, probably how you pronounce that, as I try to be a little bit less American. Schnee, Snow, trying to be in this building and take some cover, hopefully catch someone off guard in just a second here. As he does, and I was maybe trying to line up a little knife kill through the window, but he just uses his gun to make sure no funny business happens. Cap pressure on the dugout for the Axis, just purely because of the amount of soft cap that they have, but gets defended rather quickly with a few spawns inside of the hard cap. But really just relentless pressure from the Axis against solid defense for the Allies after around 45 minutes of playing time, approaching the 50-minute mark. More shots flying absolutely everywhere. As I have a little bit more water. And we see 3 arty strikes going down on the dugout. And the Axis commander says, let's get going. It is time to start a real attack. Using a lot of the team's resources to suppress all the infantry on the point. And they're now going to try to push through that soft cap area into the hard cap and really make a convincing push out of this one. STDB trying to take their first victory of their division and take a little bit of revenge to LCM for the previous match back in, I think it was February, on the same map, on the same point. That one went LCM's way, but I think that STDB are trying to make sure that this one goes their way, with more cap pressure being defended on the point for now. But it is still a very close fight as Rock versus Zyle drops him and will get access to this building. There is nothing on this building for him to find though. No spawn points lined up, but he will still tuck away in this corner. But more cap pressure going into the point. 2 medium tanks as well lined up to defend. Empty medium tank for the Allies there. Maybe crew doing some repairs or grabbing a coffee. And it is a close situation of offense and defense on the dugout for now. The cap pressure moving slightly in favor of the Axis for now. P4 lines up behind and is going to try to suppress all of these angles from their position back here. Gets a really nice look through those poles and takes out a few more squad leads. And the Axis are purely capping through the soft cap. But we see now, Xite is on top of this hill, the hill that we saw the Axis use before. And they will try to use this terrain, the high ground from the terrain, to control more of the areas and shoot down onto the blueberries on the point from this little ridge up here. And still this arty just lining it up. Strafing run comes out. Tank is being used on the defense, but the Stewie that we just saw on the map is blown up now. And the Axis are completely swarming the soft cap and moving onto the hard cap with Flowski and Rock leading the charge. Flowski takes out one. Flowski tries to take out another one, but gets dropped. Rock now versus Tetra. Can Tetra stop his advance? He cannot. Rock pushing in, and we see a Tiger, or a P4, sorry, not a Tiger, a P4 climbing over the wreck of the Stewie, and a P4 gonna try to suicide into the point and take out maybe the garrison or a few OPs, or preferably both, and really try to suppress everything on this point and lock it down for STDB to finally cap back after almost half an hour of Allied control over the point. We see Falky jumping out and repairing the tank in the middle of the action, dodging some arty shells. Vasco and Savvy gets in behind. behind the P4 through the smoke, and the P4 gets shot in the back. Debbie takes out one threat, but there are still so many raspberries on this point, and there is a second medium tank on that point. We see as well an airhead being dropped right here on your screen, inside of the hard cap basically, and it is now up to STDB to defend this airhead and give them another spawn point inside of the hard cap. And if they get a good spawn wave on this might seal the deal for this push. Smoke going down, more smoke being thrown by Ludiga, and this airhead might be a crucial play covered by the bombing run and taking out that garrison that was found before. And now we see a huge spawn wave on the airhead, and this I think could seal the fate for the allies on the point. And with 30 minutes left in the match, we might be seeing the point flip once again, giving the Axis some breathing room on defense and maybe allowing them to establish themselves on dugout and try to hold it for the next 30 minutes to claim their first victory in ECL Division 4. More Axis spawning on that airhead and flooding out of that trench. And it is now looking like an unstoppable cap almost. As we take a further look, not a lot of blue left on or near the point. As actually we see a garrison. And look at the amount of blue that we just saw spawn. Tank takes out most of them, but still a lot of blue trying to defend here. They have still a little bit of reinforce left, but it's not enough. Bombing run comes in. The bombing run takes out, I think, the airhead here. No, does not take out the airhead. Airhead survives, crucially, and the Axis capture the dugout. Now it's a question, can they find all those sneaky squad leaders, wipe the OPs, and really establish themselves with some garrisons, outposts, all the good stuff, and take definitive control of this point, as we see actually a sneaky little Greyhound in the back lines trying to roam around and clean up some infantry, but they were not able to help defend the point, as we actually also see a 76 all just a little bit late to the party, as there we see the medium tank versus that Greyhound who now drove into the trench. Can they get out of this trench is the next question. That might not be their biggest concern. Lord gonna try to encourage them to get out of there, and they do get out of there and immediately get blown up by that P4. The 76 now not able to spot the P4 as they had a shot on it. 76 takes a shot from the P4. Already shells in between the two and making it a little bit hard to see what's going on, but we see a lot of blue coming back into the point from two OPs next to it, and the allies able to establish a garrison, but not to really control the hard cap yet. That still belongs to those blueberries, and the 76 is playing a huge role in holding it down, because this P4 can no longer suppress the infantry freely, as they will now have to answer to the calls of that 76. And of course, the rockets are still constantly flying. 76 eyeing up that road, trying to get forward, as the 76 is now parked kind of in the middle, again using both the driver's MG in one direction and the tank gun in another to cover as much ground as possible as the allies approach halfway on their cap back. We saw the point flip just 2 minutes ago, and now one minute of cap pressure has already been put, and this 76 is really just calling the shot. Reinforce goes down on the point. Attacking garrison is up already, and the allies seem to be bouncing back really quickly as the Axis do not get a chance to establish on the point. 76 blows up the P4 as well, and this might be the nail in the coffin as they lose control over the road, really. Or a lot of their controlling factor over the road was that medium tank, and the 76 says, no thanks, I will be taking control over this road and all the surrounding fields, as they get hit in their turret from the front, but I don't think it will matter, and the allies will reclaim the point, as that was a tank shell flying. And that is actually a Tiger in behind there. And that is something that the 76 might be wanting to look out for, because they can snipe that 76 from far away, as we saw another shell flying. But I don't think they have an angle at the moment. But if they move forward here, they might be in the vision of that Tiger up on the hill. Every little bit of terrain that they take upwards might be exposing more and more to them, as they slow roll forward to try and get towards the raspberries on the right of your screen. But first, battling this Tiger up on the hill. Shots flying back and forth, but neither able to hit. As I say that, they were actually able to hit, and I think they just took out that Tiger. Really, really well lined up shots onto this Tiger, and that was one that I did not see coming. The tank battle immediately going the way of the 76, and they really just control the point with the armor here. Another medium tank rolls up as well, and Sir Balin is gonna, Sir Balin, Senior Balin, whatever it is gonna help this heavy tank repair their tracks and anything else that might be damaged to make sure they can stay in this battle. Medium tank lines up, gonna try to suppress these houses, but now suddenly it's looking great for the allies, who have re-established. But this little bit of control over dugout gave all of these raspberries an opportunity to push out. And if we go back to the middle of the map, where we saw so much allies control over most of it, it is now just a sea of red really looking towards the dugout here. And this is going to give them many flanking opportunities that they did not have previously, and that could decide this last 25 minutes of the match to go maybe more in favor of STDB. Really trying to give themselves as many opportunities as possible, as Billy Bill is also in behind, going down the road very slowly but surely, trying to stay covert but also gaining some ground, trying to really watch anyone who steps foot on the road. As I go into the POV, he gets dropped immediately, and the commander will check his backlines. But this establishment of raspberries on this middle of the map could really help them in the push towards dugout in 5 or 10 or maybe 15 minutes. Still though, this heavy tank is just calling the shots on dugout, really having a rep station down now next to them as well, and gonna really make it difficult to push towards this point, especially also since they are not contested yet. But now that I say contested, we see another Tiger trying to fight with some tanks. They're trying to fight with that AT gun up there or something. No, AT gun is free. It is just the heavy tanks going for a little scrap, I think. As I see another crewman jumps out. Yeah, it's the 76 on the left there, trying to line up a shot on this Tiger, who do have the rep station built behind them. So if they get hit, it's not the end of the world. But this 76 really commanding the tanking gameplay that can happen around lining up those crucial shots on the Tiger up on the hill. Tiger slowly rolls forward. 76 shoots early. This might give the Tiger the first shot, but they get hit by the other 76 from the front, and they will immediately start backing up. And the 76 down the road there is commanding that they take a little bit of cover. Is this enough cover? It is really hard to tell, as the 76 on point goes down to, I'm guessing a satchel, and a sneaky satchel can decide the fate of one of these tanks if they are not careful in an instant. Well, an instant, 30 seconds of course, but it can go down from 0 to 100 in just an instant. And this Tiger, as I lost him for a little second, are retreating out of this front-facing battle with the 76 and trying to create a new viewing angle. Tiger rolls forward once again. And this 76 is just in the dead center of that road over there. They get the first hit. Will the Tiger shoot back? No, they choose to reverse immediately, and the tanks get smoked off from each other a little bit as they actually reverse into their own rep station, and they are a little bit stuck right now, which might mean they're in trouble, but the shot from the 76 crucially misses, as now the Tiger tries to roll forward a little bit to get around this rep station, turning, and they manage to get out. But this tank battle is really going down as more Axis are pushing down the side of the road again. See a medium tank parked ass into the raspberries, and Lord is gonna try to hunt it down, I think, with rockets. Gets another rocket shot in. Medium tank will turn, look for the threat. Rock also pushing towards that medium. Another hit goes into turret. I think that was a little bit too high. Medium turning the front plate armor into those ATs, and they get a bounce when they needed it. Lord takes out the squad lead, but will not have enough rockets. Rock trying to run up behind to get a satchel, also does not manage to. 76 and the medium are just still taking control of the dugout point. But this Tiger is still up there, and any wrong move, especially for this medium, could mean an instantaneous death by the Tiger. 76 gets hit by the Tiger, and will we see now retreating from the other side going? Second shot bounces, unfortunately, and now the Tiger gets hit as well. Tiger has that rep station, of course. Another shot bounces. Will the 76 shot connect? It does. Or that looked like it did, at least. Another shot coming out, maybe, from the Tiger. No, it does not. And the Tiger blows up to the 76 in the middle of the road. They did take a little bit of damage, but nothing to worry about for them at the moment. And the tank domination continues on the dugout with this 76 that we saw before going down to a satchel, but still a medium tank with the rep station and a heavy tank calling the shots with 20 minutes left. But if you look at the map, we still have so much infantry close to this recon plane. Is a real juicy one as well, but just going so far into the soft cap and getting within inches of that hard cap as well. And this medium tank loses their rep station and might lose their life. Lord getting another shot in, and the other AT friends coming in behind, maybe. Devil runs next to him. They miss each other. Lord manages to take him out. Lord lining up another shot, unable to get close enough to, or get a viewing angle to really get it off. Purple Haze now with his buddy. Lord lining up a shot and takes out the medium tank. And that is one down, one to go in terms of tanks on the dugout. And we see immediately, we see the pressure loading onto the point as this heavy tank has retreated as well to go for a few repairs. And that is how closely matched these matches are. They do not spare an extra person on offense or on defense if they don't have to. And once you lose one of those tanks, you lose that cap weight and you immediately see the effect. Really fascinating stuff as they keep spawning on their side of the point and pushing across, trying to take control of the road. And it is not moving for the moment, but all it takes is one good run to deal a detrimental amount of damage and wipe just that amount of spawns that you need to put some real cap pressure onto it. If we take a look at the middle of the map, we see that the allies have re-established control over the middle of the map, and a new 76 is up there. But Kiwi, crucially, Kiwi really made a run for it, or a drive for it, I must say, and is now going to establish a garrison behind the dugout. Mart parked his supply truck on the edge, dropped his supplies, gonna go on the side of the hedgerow and put up that attacking garrison. And with 19 minutes left to play, this might be the little break that STDB have been looking for, as now he gets spotted, and this might throw some spanners in the works. He gets spotted, Ferocia takes him out as he actually brutally goes through the front windshield of his car after eating a rocket, and he takes out that supply truck, now without rockets though, and not within 100 meters of this garrison yet. Now he is, and I don't think the garrison got a spawn off, so this threat might be neutralized before it can become a threat even. But really nice sneak play to go in behind, but Ferocia saw that before it could mean trouble. We see a clutch strafe coming out or something to save the garrison. It appears not, and Ferocia takes out the attacking garrison in behind the dugout, and it will be a frontal push for now. They don't really have a choice, as we see more blueberries pushing towards this next set of houses where the Axis have been residing. Flynn comes up behind, and Flynn gets the knife kill on Ludiga and really says, this house is mine and you are not welcome in here anymore. Really nice knife kill from Flynn there with 17.5 minutes left on the clock. And Flynn will now establish himself in this little house, controlling that high ground with all those nice viewing angles for his delight. Another Tiger is ready to join the party, tries past the wreck of its fallen brother, and takes a shot at that medium and the edge of your screen, just quickly checking what it is. Medium tank, trying to stay in cover. No, still moving. Second hit goes in, and that medium tank gets dropped before they can join the battle, sorry. And this Tiger now pushing up further after neutralizing one threat. Unfortunately for them, they have a 76 on the point, a 76 behind the point, and another light tank on the way. But dealing with that medium tank before they can really get up is a crucial play, and really allows them to maybe end the tank domination a little bit as they get smoked off basically immediately, not allowing them to look down the road. P-strike coming in on that heavy tank, but the heavy tank dodges it expertly. Tank backing up just in time, and no P-strike kill for the commander of STDB. And this Tiger will just look for an angle down the road, and they've found a really nice one here to try and suppress that road. And now it's the question of, will this LCM heavy tank 76 try to fight this Tiger, or will they just stay in their beautiful spot where they've been sitting now that the P-strike is not available anyway? Now we see a Lux coming in. Joker gets one rocket in. Joker gets dropped from behind. Lux still roaming behind, alive. This should be illegal. I think my RD teammate got 75 kills there, and I got an achievement for it, even though I have not killed a single person, I swear. Lux roaming the back lines, trying to mount this little hedgerow. Consent was, of course, given. And the Lux trying to cause damage in the back lines. Balin trying to smoke out this Lux, and Parko says, let's add a little bit to that smoke, trying to dodge all the shots. Xavi, though, might be able to put the finishing blow, and after being lit on fire just before, they get lit on fire for real this time, and the Lux goes down to Xavi. 76 still in their comfortable spot. We see 6 RD strikes on the map at once, and more pushing going on. This tank from, as we see Balin on fire again, tank from the Axis, tank from the ally, both not moving. And it is really just up to the infantry numbers to create an opening for their buddies to push. We do see ATs constantly hunting these tanks when they might not expect it. LTO trying to take out some OPs in behind, but Shisul puts an end to that quickly. Flynn, we saw knife someone just 5 minutes ago, trying to claim control over that building once again. If you want to get another knife kill, buddy, I am here to witness it. This is your moment to try and shine, as I will just keep a little moment on the map. And a satchel takes out Flynn, actually, so no knife kills. Explosives are a little bit more powerful than knives still in this game. And now we see, actually, the Tiger is being engaged by that 76 as they were spotted on the recon plane. And the P4 trying to push up, but they might drive straight into a rocket or a shot from that 76 down the road. Uh-oh. 76 gets a shot. Medium needs to get off this angle as quickly as possible. Medium tank makes it out of there alive and will stop in behind here to make sure that they don't end their life as soon as that other medium that we saw get destroyed around there. Valky trying to repair his medium tank for his buddies, and the 76 is now taking a much more aggressive stance, trying to defend with 12 minutes left on the clock. But again, this hill now falls into the hands of the Axis, and we see an airhead being dropped right on the commander. But now this Steward is coming in from behind and trying to wipe out some of those outposts. Takes out one already. Fake Blood sees the threat behind but cannot do anything about it. No AT spawns. Airhead lands Stewie. Will they've spotted it is now the question, because the airhead is on the ground and technically spawnable. Stewie spins around, stops, trying to line up a shot, lines up a shot, but not onto the airhead. And the airhead is good to go, ladies and gentlemen. This airhead is good to go, and in about 10-15 seconds, we will see a whole bunch of raspberries spawning. The question is, will they be met by a tank shell before they can do anything? No, they will not get here. Oh, they will get here, actually. A lot of raspberries spawn, but get taken out by that Stewie before they can do anything. Flowski, do you have a satchel, buddy? Or are you going to try to get that light tank off the map? He is going to try that. Flowski trying to get a satchel down, but does not succeed. And that airhead, unfortunately, falls victim to the Stewie. Unfortunately, or fortunately, of course, depending on how you look at it. Bombing run comes in and wipes out a metric ton of blueberries, and cap pressure is on for STDB, trying to win their first ECL game this season. Stewie coming back for more defense plays and really being a nail into, or a spanner in the works, as I get my idioms confused. Stewie popping a sick drift and gonna try to wipe out more of those raspberries. Bongman gets run over, cannot even die to the cannon, but gets wiped out. Fee trying to hit into that 76, trying to make them retreat. Serenito gets wiped down 2 artillery shells, but defense is being played currently by the allies. Raspberries pouring onto the point from behind here, and we have the medium pushing as well. But Plin and his buddies are coming from a new angle again, trying to defend. Rally in sight. Might fall victim to in here. Plin crouches down. Hybe gets taken out. Rally in behind Plin. Might take out Ludiga once again. Not by knife this time, but a shot in the head will do. And Plin really gonna lock this down. Bongman walks past him. Almost survives, but then gets taken out as well. And Plin will be a thorn, trying to defend from behind all of these raspberries, as now the medium tank says it is time to go. Let's get going. And now the question is, will they fall victim to the heavy tank immediately? Oh, they might here. Trying to front pen the heavy. not succeeding. Another rocket from El Gordo, also trying to front pen the heavy, but crucially the medium does not take a hit. Medium tank currently alive and kicking, trying to maybe just distract this heavy long enough so that the infantry can have free reign on the point. Black Mars, actually, tank crew on the point, trying to put everything they can towards this cap. But defense, relentless defense being played. Lots of blueberries being pulled from the middle of the map here. Everyone is going for the dugout, as I crucially missed the P4, falling victim to that Stewie. I'm very sorry, boys, in the Stewie there. Really nice play as Ares now tries to mount onto the Stewie to get that satchel down. Does not succeed yet, and the Stewie will continue to harass all the raspberries in behind, as they still have not found their demise by rocket launcher or tank shot. And the allies fend off another wave of attackers, and the Stewie will roam the backlines. Drunken Bold, next one on the line to defend, does not manage to do so, and his OP gets wiped. And the Stewie goes for another lap, maybe going for that backup garrison that they got earlier as well, or a Stewie got earlier as well. Takes out another squad lead, and will probably go and find this garrison once again. Common garrison spot. That does not mean it's bad, but that does mean that it is predictable. As the Stewie actually drives past it, and Drunken Bold might get a shot here. Does get one shot. Stewie crashed into that wall. Drunken Bold hiding from any vision. Gets a second rocket. Spins. Garrison gets taken down. Will Drunken Bold get the final rocket he's looking for? He does not. Missing by a few meters. Not able to line that shot up like he wanted to before having to fire, meeting his demise. And now we really see the amount of tank pressure that the allies can offer here for defense. 2 76s parked, ready to go. Medium tank for the Axis there, and a heavy tank up on the hill. But this 76 duo is really allowing them to defend here, as a little bit of cap pressure goes towards the hamlet. But a little bit of cap pressure also goes towards the dugout, and that is the point we are playing for at the moment, with a lot of raspberries over here on this little OP cluster that almost made me think there was an airhead there that I missed. But 3 OPs right next to each other in that trench, showing a similar sight to what we saw earlier, with those OPs almost bringing the same amount of people as the airhead that we saw in that exact spot earlier. Sorrento getting the flamethrower out, not so much trying to burn people down, but mainly obstructing crucial vision of the point, and also just laying a sick smoke and ash field on the point here, really trying to stop anyone from seeing anything. And moving out of this trench becomes a new challenge. As now I think we see the 76 taking a shot from that heavy tank up on the hill. And the Tiger might be looking to kill the 76, or one of the 76s. Or maybe allowing their medium buddies to come in behind, as we will leave this tank battle and go in for the other one. 76 versus P4. P4's second shot bounces. 76 gun moving backwards. 76 gets one hit in. P4 will try to get up and close and takes out that 76 crucially. One of the 76s falls. Now it's the question, can the other one also fall victim to this P4? If so, suddenly it is go, go, go time for the Axis, and they might be able to cap the point here with only 3 minutes of time before the cap ends. P4 on the garrison here. Wipes out one OP. Wipes out the garrison. And this might be the break that the Axis were looking for. P4 falls victim to a rocket. But now we see cap pressure with 4 minutes left in the match. Strafing run coming out. The heavy tank still parked on the point. But if you look at infantry numbers, the Axis are outnumbering the Allies quite heavily here. Will the Allies be able to defend? Get a new garrison up established as soon as possible. Rafa putting his OP back down. Tipo putting his OP back down. But this garrison being wiped, and just that little bit of chaos, losing the 76 to a medium tank, might be all what they're looking for. More people spawning on those OPs here. Really trying to nail it down. Rockets trying to fly towards those OPs. And Pawa also getting his flamethrower out. So many flamethrowers in action. Bongman also trying to wipe more OPs. Tercha trying to defend those OPs. And more cap pressure going towards the Axis. Trying to win their first game of the season. And really locking it down. More and more raspberries pouring onto the hard cap. Already going. OP goes down. And now it is suddenly a no spawn on the hard cap situation. Bombing run trying to come in to save the point, maybe. Will we see the cap pressure survive that bombing run? Bombing run gonna come in just a second here. As the Tiger is pushing that 76. 76 spotter gets out. Tiger tank versus the 76. Bombing run goes over the Tiger, stops them in their tracks. And the 76 already goes down to that bombing run. Lots of raspberries also go down to the bombing run. But still, the Axis are capping. And we have 3 minutes left in this match. And almost 75% cap pressure going towards the Axis. As they're trying to win their first game, as I've said multiple times. Trying to win their first game of this season so far. The Tiger getting up in here, uncontested. And if they nail down this road, as he already gets 100 kills, if they nail down this road, they might be able to really lock it down for them. Medium tank falls victim to the Tiger as well, and we are approaching 90% cap pressure. More Axis spawning in on the right of your screen after that bombing run, and the Axis cap the point with only 30 seconds for the allies to respond. Will they finally win a game, or will they be able to defend and win their second game of the season? LCM versus STDB, trying to lock it down. Recon tank now coming in as well. 14 seconds left, 10 seconds left. I think the Axis are gonna do it here on ECL Division 4. And with 5 seconds left, I don't think the allies have a response. And the Axis STDB wins their first game of the season on the dugout. SMDM versus LCM. Winning the rematch of a match played around 2 months ago on the same point that went 4-1 towards LCM. But now it is the Raspberries who come out victorious as another Stewie dives into the point. And what a crazy finale to this match. Really, that push with those OPs in behind. The medium tank taking out that 76, and then the Garrison and those OPs. We see the wreck of it right here. And then the Tiger being the final little push that they needed, as the Tiger will try to take out another recon tank and this light tank with Fee on the top of it. Fake Blood and Fee trying to take out that Stewart with their guns. Fake Blood taking the place of his buddies. But what a conclusion to the game here. After all of the action that we saw in this game, just finally the tank game turning around in favor of STDB, and the Tiger now reigning victorious when it mattered. And shout out to this Panzer IV for really turning the tide, and then the bombing run was barely not enough to hold, taking out their own tank as well. And what a finale to this Division 4 match of ECL. What a first cast for me here, getting all of the action I could ever want. Now I will shamelessly talk over the end of this game, sponsoring myself or shouting out some of the other stuff I do, as I will have a lot of new people coming in. My name's Fluffy. I cast for fun, trying to cast as much as possible whenever I have time. But we will see more advertising going on later, as the game will officially end here in a 3-2 victory for STDB. What a finale, finally seeing the Axis reign victorious. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. I will see you guys next week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for SLB every week. So next Tuesday, SLB Server 2 is where we will see each other again in only 2 days. Maybe tomorrow I will cast Band of Brothers again. I'm not sure, actually. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure to check my schedule. I will try to update it with my casts. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow my channel. Check out my YouTube as well if you are into Hell Let Loose content. I will post the VOD of this match up there as well. Thank you to the teams for their action that they have given. Thank you, the viewer, for watching. and I hope to see you in one of my future casts.